Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the daily scan for Tuesday, April 29th, 2014. Well, in yesterday's news, pending home sales were actually quite good, much higher than expected. Just take a quick look here. They were expecting 93.9 and they got 97.4, or actually the prior, they didn't have any consensus, but month to month change, they were looking for a 0.6, and here it was a 3.4. And also, excuse me, on the manufacturing survey out of the Dallas Fed, the consensus was 6 and it actually was 11. So that's a good number for that. And for today, we have the Case-Shiller at 9 o'clock and consumer confidence at 10. So I guess if you got money, you're confident. If you don't have money, you're not. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on across the ponds. In Asia, we are mixed, and in Europe, positive across the board. Green all the way. Let's take a look at the U.S. futures. We are green across the board also, up a good 0.25%. In most cases, gold is down below 1,300 again, and oil is above 101 overnight. Okay, what did I do yesterday? I entered this FedEx, and I entered too early. We'll talk about that in a moment. And also, I entered this 20 delta on the Qs, and we will talk about that. Let's jump right over to the A+ list. I'm also working with trying to see if a different moving average for my exponential moving average. I probably should make this totally different. So I'm going to change it back. Right now I have it on a 20-day moving average. I'm going to change it back to 50 for this morning, and then I'm going to add a third moving average, which would be the 20-day, and I want to see if that is going to help us as another means of a confirmation. I figure 20 days because it's a multiple of 5. Most of our stuff here we're trying to keep to a multiple of 5. So that's sort of what I would like to do. Okay, so starting out with Apple. Apple is on a tear, so we are definitely in an uptrend, so we're going to throw a target in and see if we can get to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay in Apple when it does. I think it's a 7-to-1 split, or 1-to-7 split. For each single share you'll get 7. Will it get up to $700 so it can stay on our A+ list? I don't know. Because if it gets up to 700 by then, and I'm not sure when this split is coming, but if it does get up to 700 by then it'll be around the $100 mark after it splits. Alright, let's move on. Amazon. Amazon is in the diggers for sure. So we're looking for a target up here. Boeing. Boeing, I think, is going to continue its downward trend, it would say here. I would say, so we're going to throw a target up here. Baidu is, we're not sure what's going on with Baidu, but if we get a good solid red or a good solid green, we get in with a 20 delta on it. A better probability of success, but higher risk at 20 for a delta. 50 delta, of course, is a lesser probability, but a lot less risky because you're not risking so much money. So just give me a solid line in either direction and a hook, and I'm in. Celgene. Alright, we are in a downtrend, so we need a solid green line. This doesn't qualify. This could be a 20 delta though. If we get a little bit of a pop in price, and then we get a hook down, that's a 20 delta for instance. Well, we missed this one, that's for sure. That would have been sweet. But we had earnings, so we needed to be concerned about that. So we'll look for another opportunity here. So I'm going to put this in here, and this would be like a 20 delta, and maybe I'll just change the color of this and pick out something that I know is different, or make it different, differentiate it from everything else. So we'll make yellow targets 20 delta targets. Alrighty, moving right along. Chipotle. Chipotle's kind of a surprise here. It was definitely moving very, very nice for a while. Up. Unbelievably. I don't know how. This is way too expensive for a fast food stock. I mean, what's McDonald's now? Maybe like $80 or something like that. Let's see what it is. And I think McDonald's is probably a mature stock. It's up there around $100 now. You know what? We might add this to our A+ list. They're only giving a penny dividend, or 81 cent. It's 81 cent dividend. Yeah. My eyes are a little blurry this morning. I almost overslept. Ooh. Forgive me. So we might be adding them to our A+ list, but where were we? We were at Chipotle, right? Okay. Alright, still waiting on that one. Costco. Yeah, I might just add McDonald's. We are reversing trend, it looks like, on Costco. So we're looking for a target down here as soon as I can get my drawing tool to work here. Chevron. We have earnings coming up. Take a pass on that. See how the Dow looks. We have a hook here. So this actually is now alertable. Not sure that I would do a 50-50 or a CSSV2 trade per se on this, or 50 delta. I might do a 20 delta. But I'm going to throw an alert on it anyway. So you may ask, why wasn't this a setup yesterday if it's an alert today? Well, I wasn't sure if this was going to get what it was going to do here. Preferably, we want it below the 20, but if we touch the 30, that's good enough. And in this case, it was good enough. And it really is a 20 delta. I just want to let you know that if I would get into this, it would be a 20 delta, and it would have an expiration of next week, not this week. Alright. Igor. Ooh, how sweet you are. But we have earnings next week, but we still could pop for a trade this week. So this is a very nice setup here. Same as yesterday. Yesterday it was a setup. Today it's a setup. Just a deeper one. Alright, FedEx. We are in FedEx. So what I did here was a little anxious. The rules state that for a setup you wait until 3:30 in the afternoon. So I may have gotten a strike a little bit lower here. But as it is, we're sitting here right now. And this was about 11 o'clock or so when I got into this one. I put a limit order in because I figured it might pull back around lunchtime like things do a lot of times, and it did, and we're not in all that bad of a shape here. We're only we're at 135 here for the strike, and the price is at 134.53, so that's not all that bad. We did get a failure later in the day on the MACD for confirmation, but we might be okay. I'm not gonna give up on this. All right, F5. We have a new downtrend, so we're looking for a target up here. Gold is down overnight, as we can see here. We do have a 20 delta on this. Yeah. So we'll see how that one works out, if it can keep its head above water here. And Google is up next. We're waiting for it to hit our target here. We have to slide it over because we're going to have to wait for more time on that one. IWM. Very pretty little pattern here. I believe that this is going to be a 20 delta setup. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. It's flat here, so we're just looking for a price-based entry, and we're using the stochastics to try to identify that a little bit early. So if we get a green hook here on the stochastic, doesn't necessarily have to be on the MACD, and we get price moving up above this close here, then we would do a 20 delta on this, and that's the same with DIA. So let's see what we can get on IWM for next week's expiration at 20 delta with a bull put. All right, we have not enough here. We need, let's go to 24. All right, 20 delta, 107.50. Back to the chart. 107.50 is down here, so that would be pretty good. So remember, yesterday I said that it's usually like a 5-to-1 risk reward for that, for a 20 delta. So here we have, let's make this a dollar spread so it's a little bit easier to figure out. So that you need 20 cents to have a 5-to-1 risk reward. So we may have to, and this is at a 22 delta, we may have to go to a 24 delta at 108, 107. That gets us a little bit closer. Not that much, actually. But that's pretty close to a 5-to-1 risk reward at a 20 delta. So it's basically comes down to take this 20 delta and divide 100 by the delta, and you get pretty close to what your risk versus reward is. So 20 delta, 100 divided, or 1 divided by 0.2 is 5. So that's where we're at. That's how we kind of figure that, roughly, very roughly. All right, so that's what we would be looking for on IWM. LinkedIn, we're looking for something going on here. We have earnings. What direction would you pick for earnings? I don't know. I might do an earnings play on this. What if we, let's just think here a little bit. Let's just figure out if we want to just buy like a May put. All right, if we wanted to go in the money, it would cost $1,000 $1,000 for roughly a 50 delta. And if the price drops 15, that would be down to, that would put us 15 in the money. So that'd be 165. That would give us, that it may move it may double in value if it moves in the right direction. So that's something to think about. And we're looking at a IV of 75%, and the percentile is in the 93. So that would be a very expensive option. The price probably would not double because you might have to go way out because your IV is going to drop. So the intrinsic or extrinsic value is going to, time value is going to deflate. But if we were to go to June and get a 50 delta, wouldn't cost us all that much more. $1,200 right here. And if it moves 15, 5, 10, 15 moves to there, it would be, let's see, I think I can mark both of these. No, that won't let me do that. It would be about double again. It would cost you a little bit more, but I don't think your IV is going to deflate as much as it's going to deflate up here in any of these. So we're down to, well, actually, this weekly is at 48. If we went to November, ooh, that's almost double. We don't want to touch that. I would say June. June would be about as far as I would want to go. And maybe this June 1 here. Possibly. So that's a thought for LinkedIn. Let me close all these up here so I don't get confused. There. Okay. Back to the monitor tab. Let's look at 3M. Well, wait a minute. Let's go back to LinkedIn. When is their earnings? It is, that's Thursday, right after market on Thursday. All right. All right, I just made a note of that, and I'm going to set an appointment or a task on my calendar to take a look at this on Thursday. Of course, if I was going, well, yeah, it probably would be a good idea. I think I'm going to do this today. I'm going to make a decision today, because if I'm just going to buy a put and the price keeps moving down, I'm going to buy that put today. Okay, 3M. What do we have here? We're still in an uptrend. We didn't quite get our mark, so we have to wait for that one to mature a little bit. Netflix is definitely, I think they want to raise their monthly subscription for streaming, so that was probably not a real good thing for them to do at this time. So the market didn't like it, so we're in a downtrend. Priceline, right, we're waiting for something to come up there. The Qs, I got in on this yesterday with a 20 delta, and it was let's see here, I can't scale this. Let's see what time I did this. Yeah, that was around the same time as FedEx. And we're in that. Spiders. We're seeing if we can possibly get, this might be a 20 delta hook here. So that's what we would be looking for there. And move this over. And get yesterday in there. There we go. And Just let me back out here. This is what I want, to be able to see this like that. There we go. I want pre-market yesterday and beginning of today's market. Okay, so that's where we're at here. This is another 20 delta setup. So basically all the indexes of all the ETF of the major indexes have set up. TLT, we are in with a 20 delta, and it's working out pretty good so far. Tesla, earnings next week. We have a setup here. Still looking for a setup. We'll take a look at it. We'll put it on our list. Okay, Union Pacific. We have a setup. Day 2 of the setup. And last but not least, a Visa. Downtrend. Looking for an entry. Okay, so that's it for today. Everybody, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.